Hi, welcome to Card and a Cuppa on Friday the 6th of October. My name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast. So let me just find you over on my Facebook page so that I know I'm in the right place, because there's nothing worse than going live in the wrong place. So bear with me while I find myself. Okay, so let me just, here we go, and then I can enlarge it and see comments as well. Hi Cheryl, how are you? Okay, looks like I'm live in the correct place, which is always a good thing. Okay, so let's switch down to the craft desk. I'm going to play with some online exclusive products that have been out for a while. I just thought I'd have a little play with that, and I'm keeping it simple because I'm trying to get my mojo back. I'm struggling big time creating cards at the moment, so I'm trying to keep it simple and get my crafting back on now that I'm back home. So let's switch down to the craft desk, and I've got a couple of things I want to tell you about as well. So here we go. There we go. Okay. And I'll just put my lamp on, it just makes it a little bit brighter. Okay, first of all, this month in October we have a really terrific, I'll just go back here, we have, oh that sounds nice Cheryl, I've got my iced water. We have a really good starter kit special. So there's two options. You can, so it's a celebration for the 35th anniversary with Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up has been around for 35 years. So the first option is you get 35% off the starter kit. So the starter kit is valued at $235 worth of product, but you would pay $109.85. So that's the first starter kit special. The second option is get 35% more product in your starter kit. So you'd pay $169 and get $317.25 worth of product. It includes free shipping and free business supplies. So, and the other bonus with this promotion is that you can get free registration for the online on-stage event in November that Stampin' Up! Are running. So it's a really good starter kit special. If you're interested in that at all, reach out to me and I can give you some more details about it. So that's that. And oops, I've got all my little bits here all cut out. Now, if you aren't aware, Stampin' Up! Have two catalogues, the annual catalogue and the new holiday mini catalogue. So these are the two catalogues. Happy to get them to you if you don't have them. But they also have online exclusives that don't appear in any of their catalogues. It's so that they can offer us more product without having to republish catalogues all the time. So they release online exclusives every second month. So we're in between months. There's another one coming up in the month of November that's going to be released. But I'm going back to this one that was released, I'm just thinking, it must have been September. I'm not sure, but anyway, it was a few months ago, and I'm going to be using and playing with, hi Margaret, Rosie. Oh, thank you for asking it. Rosie is a lot better. She is back to eating and drinking and doing everything normally again. She's got some energy back and we're going on walks again, so she is a lot better, and she's finished her antibiotics, so thank goodness for that. It was a very worrying time with our little precious girl. So I'm going to use the One Horse Open Sleigh Designer Series paper that's in the online exclusives. It's 6 by 6 inches. So it's 48 sheets in the pack. And I'm going to have a play with that. I'll show you what I've made with it so far. Okay, so I don't know if I've got a full pack to show you, but let's have a little look. Look, I'm losing all my bits and pieces over here. I have cut into this pack quite substantially. I'm glad they're pleased to hear she's okay. Yeah, she's my best little buddy. And yeah, I don't want anything happening to her. Okay, these are all my scraps from this paper pack, as you can see. I've cut into it. This is a really interesting paper pack. So let me see if I can get it together. So that's one pack, one piece, and that's the back. So let me get rid of all my scraps. That might help as well. Put that back in the bag. All the backing paper, or the side B's of the paper, are quite neutral, and you could use it for any kind of card. It wouldn't have to be Christmas. So that's that one. This one. See, as I said, they're all quite neutral. I don't have the One Horse Open Sleigh stamp set and dies. I decided to go with the Trucking Along bundle, because I have to be a little bit careful of what I spend my money on, what bundles I spend my money on. This is another one. I think I've got nearly all of the papers left. This is another one. Here's another one. So it's really quite interesting what they've done with this paper. It's sort of scenery, and then on the back is quite neutral. So I'm not sure if I'm displaying it very well, but anyway. This one is the most challenging one, I find. It's looking down from like the forest top. But I use that piece instead, because I find that one challenging. Having said that, it looks like I've only got that piece left, so it looks like I've used that one the most. Probably the back of it. So this one's really cute with the little cottage in the snow. And I know we don't have snow in Australia, but you know. This one's another nice one. So as I said, it's very scenery based. I think I've got all of them. Looks like I have. And this one. So that's all the papers in this beautiful One Horse Open Sleigh pack of paper. Let me just sort of slide them all together. So quite often when it's a scenery based pack of paper, the paper can do all the work. So let me show you some of the cards I've made. Now I can't claim fame to these ones. I have cased them and just changed them a little bit from a demonstrator in Canada called Karen Kong, and that's just trying to help me get my crafting back on. So these are just the scenes, the cards I've created with them so far. I've changed her cards up a little bit to make them a bit more my own. I've used an old embossing folder here called Softly Falling. There is a new embossing folder with snow and snowflakes in the mini catalogue, but I don't have it, so I reached into my retired folders and used that. I also used it on this one. Hold it down a bit. So they're the four I've made so far with this pack of paper, and I think it's really cute how the paper's just doing all the work. You just need a nice sentiment and off you go. So I've got two cut out to make this afternoon. So let's bring one in. I'm also going to be using the Labels Aglow dies and the Brightest Glow stamp set. Now this was a bundle last year in the holiday catalogue, but this year they're sold separately. So you'll find them in the annual catalogue. So I have this little one. So I've got my, what is it, Early Espresso cardstock. And a tent fold scored at the top, so it's a tent fold card base. I've cut one of the pieces of paper up to make a backing, and I've got this little one with the reindeer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this die from the Labels Aglow. and I'm going to cut the little reindeer out. So let's bring our embossing folder, our emboss machine in, cut emboss machine. And I could use the mini one, but I've got the big one here, so we will just go with the big one because it was handy. Okay, so I am going to put a little piece of paper onto the plates and put my little die. I could tape it down, but I don't probably need to, but I just for good measure I will tape it down in place and wind that through. And I don't think I need this anymore, so let's pop it aside. I have sheltered myself some new plates. Sometimes you get to the point where they're so cut and hacked up that new plates are needed. You need to use the retired items too. Yeah, well, I just decided I can't keep buying everything. And I think I need to pull out some retired things. And this is the Softly Falling embossing folder that was a few years ago. And look, it's even so hacked. I think I got it ruined at one of my classes. Somebody didn't put it in the cut emboss machine straight, and I've got a big hack situation going on there. But it's a really nice embossing folder, and I thought, you know, I've got some snow falling. I don't need to buy that brand new one. But if you don't have a snow falling embossing folder and you'd want one, the brand new one is very lovely. Okay, so I've cut our little reindeer out of our designer series paper. And yes, I could have just put it straight down like this, but this is just giving it a little bit of dimension and interest, I thought. So I have got a vellum circle. So this piece of DSP, hi Lynn. Yeah, I'm glad to hear Rosie so much, but she looks very strange though, because she's got one of her legs where, which leg is it, Rosie? I think it's your right leg. One of her legs is all shaved back to like nearly the bone, and so she's got fluff on her paw and fluff above, because that's where they had to put the IV antibiotics and fluids in. So we keep saying she's a toy cavoodle, so she is part toy poodle, but she's got one leg that's poodle because it's all shaved back and she's fluff and fluff. Okay, so this piece of paper that I cut down is 10 centimeters by 14.3 or 14.4 to make a card front layer. This piece of designer series paper is 9.5 by 13.8 to make our next layer. We've cut our little reindeer out. I'm going to place a vellum circle behind, but also with, this is another online exclusive, the 1 3/4 circle punch. I have the old whale tail style. I know, poor little darling. But she's okay, so that's good. So yeah, I have the old whale tail style punch. I had kept my retired 1 3/4 circle punch. It's now back in the online exclusives as the new flat style punch, like so. So it's this design. But I've just got the old one, and I thought it still works. I don't need to replace it with the new style. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to cut a real red circle out with that. I think that could go in the bin. I don't need any more of that. And back our little design. And then that will sort of cover up the hole. And then we can put it on there, and we've got a bit of dimension. So let's get a few things happening. I think I shall attach this to my paper piece first. So basically, while I'm trying to get my mojo back, I'm pretty much using papers, the designer series paper, to do all the work for me, because our papers are also beautiful and gorgeous, and it doesn't matter if they're not specialty, even just the matte ones like this, they're so beautiful. You've got the softly falling one, Margaret, that embossing folder, this one. Yeah, I do sell off some of my retired embossing folders. I have so many, but I do keep some, you know, some that I sort of think, oh, that could be handy. I do keep some. So I'm just putting this matting piece down onto my card base. Okay. Oh, and I've got a bit of glue there. Oops. You know what I should have done? I should have stamped my sentiments first. I am going to stamp it onto my paper, which is a bit scary. But let's see how we go. Okay, so now I've got my vellum circle, and I've got my 1 3/4 inch real red circle, and I've got my Labels Aglow circle. I will just find my pokey tool just to poke out that last little piece. Oops. And I'm going to put it flat down onto that, onto the real red circle. Beautiful day today. It's not too hot, not too cold, just nice. So Rosie and I went for a little walk this morning, and we had a cup of coffee with a friend. So that was nice, catching up with my friend. Just get that off. Now let me just check how I should. Oops. I'm just thinking. Okay, I'm going to mount this on my vellum circle, and I'm just using up some scraps of dimensionals on the edges. Always use your edges up because they stick and pop just as well as full ones. That's it, that's done now, but I've got to get both sides off. Get off. Okay, so tomorrow is actually World Card Making Day. Yes, there is a day, a special day for us card makers. And Stampin' Up are running a free online event. If you'd like to join in and participate, as I said, it is free, and you can do that by registering through my online store. So just go to my blog, stampingpassion.blogspot.com, and click on the Stampin' Up logo, and you will find that you can register online and enjoy an afternoon, a few hours of some crafting fun. Now I'm going to adhere this down with glue, but just put the glue behind this circle. But before I do that, I will stamp my sentiment, which is very anxious because I'm going to stamp it straight on here. Ah! Okay. So I am using the Merry Christmas from the Brightest Glow stamp set, and I think I shall use espresso. And I'm going to practice on a scrap to make sure I get it straight. To make sure I know how to get it straight. Okay, I think I've mounted that one quite well, so she says. Oh, it's grey and it's cool. You got a jacket on. Oh, we've got sun and blue sky. Okay, so let's open this up. Bring this down here so I don't have to bring my head in. And yay! I always worry when I'm stamping straight onto card fronts or paper, you know. You do have the option that you can cut out a piece of cardstock and cover it up if you do boo-boo. But that didn't boo-boo, so that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to put some glue on the back of that. And pop that over our cutout. So we didn't actually have to use 2 pieces of designer series paper to get our little deer. We cut out the deer from this piece, and now we're covering up our little hole in our paper. There we go. Okay, so I'll put that away. And I have got some festive pearls. These are from the annual catalogue. And these are, they say they're cherry cobbler. And this paper is real red that we've used. But I think we can get away with it. And use them. If I can find my poker tool. Here we go. So they're in the annual catalogue and they're $12.25. So I'm just going to put a couple of festive pearls around. Got to add bling. Bling's always a good thing. And that's our card. I will put a card insert inside my card. I put a piece of white cardstock inside. And with all my scraps of designer series paper, quite often I'll find a scrap, not this one, but and I trim my insert up with a scrap going down or a scrap going across, and that's how I use a lot of my little scrap pieces up. I find that's a good way to use your scraps. So that is card number 1. How long have I been going? Let me look. Okay, I have got another card cut up, and if you're happy I will continue on because it's a very simple card. So we'll put that one up there and bring it back in later. This is another one I've copied from this lady in Canada, and I've just changed it up a little bit. So this one is also like a tent fold card. So I've just cut an A4 piece in half at 10.5 centimeters, scored it at 14.8, and then I've cut 6 centimeters down, and I've cut that piece off. So 6 centimeters from the score line. I've got another piece of the paper. Where's my paper? My beautiful 1 horse open sleigh paper. And I've cut that down to 14.4 or 14.3 by 10 for my backing. And then I've got another piece. Now some people wouldn't like having stripes going this way and then stripes going down. That doesn't bother me. So if you don't like that, then you'd have to cut into another piece of paper. But I got this piece out of the one piece of 6 by 6. So that's 5.5 by 10 centimeters. I've got a piece of petal pink. Our card base is Misty Moonlight. I've got a piece of petal pink, 9 centimeters by 12, and then another piece of the designer series paper, this piece. Continue. And this is 8.5 centimeters by 11.5. So another super simple card, just using all our beautiful papers up. So let's pull all these off and start gluing. Where's my glue gone? Here it is. So I shall put I've decided not to have a conniption about cutting into our beautiful designer series paper anymore. I've decided just use it because it's gorgeous. There we go. So that's our card panel, and I will cut I haven't done it yet, but I'll cut a piece of basic white so you can write on it. I haven't got a piece of paper to put here, but if you wanted to, you could also decorate that piece. Well, if the weather's turning, then that will make World Card Making Day tomorrow a good day to be at home and watching a card making event. Always a good day to watch a card making event. Okay, I didn't get rid of that one. Okay, so I've got this one. Oops, I've got a little pencil mark there, so I shall get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to put that like so, but what I want to do is stamp a sentiment onto it. Yet again, I'm testing my ability of stamping straight. I think Season's Greetings, maybe over this side, because I've got some tinsel gems from the annual catalogue, and they're Misty Moonlight, which is what our card base is, Fresh Freesia and Lost Lagoon. And I've got this beautiful Misty Moonlight braided ribbon. What do they call it? Inner braid ribbon that I thought I could decorate with as well. So, is that going to fit on that little block? Nope. So I better, it sort of will. Yes, let's use it. So before we attach it, we're going to get our Misty Moonlight. And once again, I'm going to practice on my paper, just to be on the safe side, to make sure I can stamp straight. That looks pretty good. My Misty Moonlight looks like it needs re-inking. Let's try this. That's a bit better. Okay. So it looks like I've mounted that one fairly straight as well, which is good. Okay. Here goes. I'll try not to bring my head in. The colours, the Misty Moonlight and the, oh, is that straight? You know what, it's a little bit crooked, but it'll be fine. The Misty Moonlight and the Petal Pink, I know, they're lovely colours together, I think. Yeah, look, that's pretty straight. Okay, so, and super simple. I don't know what you call this card. It's not really a fun fold. It's just a card with a bit cut off and a bit added. So I shall pop that down there. And once again, if you wanted to, you could do a die cut for the sentiment. You don't have to stamp it straight onto the paper, if that makes you anxious. Makes me anxious. Okay. Okay, so this Petal Pink piece, I'm pretty sure that was the dimensions, 9 centimeters by 12. Yes, so that's what I'd cut in my piece of basic white to go underneath, or maybe even a fraction smaller. I might cut it, I think I'd cut it 8.5 by 11.5, and then I know it's not going to show. So that's what I would do there. So I am going to flip that over like so and put glue where I need it, so that I don't put glue over here where I don't want it. Okay. And I just eyeball it, you know me, I don't measure. I do measure some things, and see, I haven't got any glue there, so that's perfect. Okay, so I'll leave that little piece there so I know that's what I want to cut for my panel inside. And let's clean off this before we have an accident. So your cards can be simple and yet still stunning. So this is this beautiful Misty Moonlight ribbon. I don't know if it's actually in a bundle or a suite. I think it's just in the back in the ribbon section, but I'm not quite sure if it's actually in a suite collection. So I'm sorry, I don't know that off the top of my noggin. Okay, so I'm just doing like a little knot. And I'm just going to trim that down a bit before I cut it off. There we go. And a glue dot would be good. Here we go. On the back of the knot. And I'm just going to stick that there. Tweak it a little bit. And then get our beautiful tinsel gems, which sounds Christmassy, doesn't it? Tinsel gems. Now I've lost my pokey tool again. It's probably on my desk somewhere. Oh, how silly is that? Okay, let's go to our take your pick tool with the brush. Okay, so I'm going to use one big one of the Misty Moonlight, and I might put it down here. And so there's just two sizes, the big and the smaller ones. Two small ones, one up here and one over here. And it's so easy to make beautiful cards. Even when you're lacking, you've lost your mojo, lost your creative license, like me. But how cool, how pretty, and how simple. And as I said, I will put a panel in here of basic white, and got a dog outside barking. It's a wonder Rosie hasn't gone off her, gone off. So that is my, what's today? Is it card and a Cuppa day? I can't remember. So these are my cards using this beautiful paper. Let me get that out of the way. And I'll put that in there so I know that's the size I want to put my paper. So there are two cards today. Super simple, minimal stamping, just the sentiments. And yet they're still beautiful. And yes, they're snowy scenes, and we don't have snow. It happens to all of us, does it, Lynn? I hope I can find it again. We don't have snow for Christmas, but sometimes it's just nice to do snowy things anyway. So these are the other cards that I've made from these papers. As I said, I did case a lady by the name of Karen Kong in Canada. I have changed them a little bit. I've added different things, like this one I added the sparkly paper, what's it called, More Dazzle. This one I added this ribbon, she didn't have that ribbon on it. So I have added a few more things, but these beautiful cards from these beautiful papers. Did they start barking? Rosie, she's asleep. She's not even on her pillow. See, she must be a bit hot. She's off her pillow on the floor. So let me just go back to, where are we? There we go. So yeah, so the dogs have stopped barking outside now. So that's my card and a Cuppa for today. I hope you enjoyed the simplicity of it. And maybe I'll get my mojo back and start making more challenging cards again. But you know what? I quite like the simple ones. So I hope you have a great weekend. If you're participating in the World Card Making Event Day tomorrow afternoon with Stamping Up, I hope you enjoy it. And I shall see you on Monday for my pre-recorded Make It Monday. Bye for now.